everyone to this event. We take great pride in the progress that's being realized, and we very much appreciate that you're able to join us in celebrating another major milestone with the Eastern Ontario Regional Network. Some of you may be aware that I guess it was about 9 months ago now, we had an official launch to the EORN zone, which is located down in the county of Prescott and Russell. And several months ago, there was an official ceremony launching the completion of the backbone of the network. And we're here today. Northumberland zone is complete, and we have quite a number of dignitaries here to speak about the project and to help celebrate the event. With those few remarks, I'd like to invite MP Rick Norlock. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much, Gary. I now know who I have to count out to today while I'm here, and I'll be sure to do that often. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful to be here and to celebrate in Northumberland County the completion of high-speed internet. You know, when I was first elected some 7 years ago, one of the first meetings I went to with our CFDCs, at that meeting, I was introduced, or there shortly after, a plan that was put together by the local community Futures and Development Corporation friends of ours here in Northumberland. And it was a partnership with the rest of the CFDCs in Eastern Ontario. And it had to do with a study into the need, which was great, of high-speed broadband for all of Eastern Ontario. And I was told, and throughout the year that year, talked to many other groups, business groups, who said they really couldn't grow their business. And then I talked to people in the educational field, folks who worked at some of the colleges and universities close by, professors who can work out of their homes and do things out of their homes if they had a tool like our high-speed internet. So it is as important as far as I'm concerned, and I think as far as most of us are concerned, as roads and bridges in the modern society in which we live. And I noticed, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I noticed the comparison when you went from 10 to 100, I call it speeds or whatever, I'm not very technical. And you know, that's a pipeline of information, isn't it? Well, there's other pipelines that we'd like to see to help develop our economy. And a year and a half ago, we had a discussion in Ottawa about burning foreign oil in Eastern Canada. So I was happy to see that it didn't fall on deaf ears, that we're soon going to be able to burn some Canadian oil down here, a little bit east of us here, Kingston and east of that. So that's just my little plug. Well, I'm glad to be here and happy to be here on behalf of Minister Denis Lebel, the Minister of Transport, Infrastructure and Communities, and for Economic Development. You know, I think this enterprise is the perfect example of how when you partner with other levels of government, when you partner specifically with private enterprise, who really get the job done, how successful you can be. And it's those partnerships that maximize your tax dollars, that help us in all levels of government, help us do good things. And I was very pleased to hear in the Economic Action Plan 2013, working with the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, listening, and we listened, and what happened is we have the largest building infrastructure plan that this country has ever seen, $53 billion in infrastructure funding over the next 10 years. And that, I hope, and I'm sure we'll be able to partner once again with our friends, both at all levels of municipal and provincial governments. This is one example, as I said, of partnering to create jobs in the short term while you construct, and in the long term as you develop business. And since July of 2009, close to 900,000 net new jobs have been created. We're the envy of the rest of the G7, and I would have to say G20. So friends, this is the third celebration. Just a few weeks ago, we celebrated in Alderville, just up the road here, the completion of that network that was referred to in Embrun. I'm just excited, pleased, and pleased as punch to be here, and I'm going to be kowtowing to my friend here for the rest of the day, or as long as I'm here, because this is a reason to celebrate. You all should congratulate yourself as being partners in this enterprise. And I want to thank the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus for spearheading this. They made something happen that will be a lasting economic positive result for Eastern Ontario, and we all should be grateful for that for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MP Norlock. I was remiss in not mentioning the launch at Leal. That's another aspect of this project that we take great pride in. We're working with all of the First Nations across Eastern Ontario, Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Akwesasne, the Algonquins of Pikwagnon, thank you. I always struggle with that one, but it's great because all of the First Nations are included amongst the 300,000 throughout Eastern Ontario that didn't have adequate access to high-speed internet and broadband. I would now like to call upon the Honourable Jeff Leal, Minister of Rural Affairs, to bring greetings from the province and provide some remarks.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure for me to be here in Cobourg. A lot of my great colleagues are here today: Rick Norlock, Rob Milligan, Warden Heck, Warden Rick, and of course it would be remiss if I didn't say the great work that Gary team has been doing, and the staff at the County of Peterborough over the last number of years. I've had a great privilege in my 28 years I've been in public life, 18 as a city councillor in Peterborough, and 10 years, almost 10 years, as having the great privilege to be the MPP for Peterborough riding. I've had the opportunity to work with three great public services, one at the City of Peterborough, one at the County of Peterborough, and currently the one at the provincial government. Hardworking men and women that work on your behalf so hard each and every day. So it's great to be here. Join you here today in Northumberland County as we celebrate another milestone in the construction of the Eastern Ontario's rural broadband network. Another county today comes online. Rural Ontarians want a dependable, high-speed broadband network. Our government, your government, has committed up to $55 million to build a high-speed network for Eastern Ontario. Across Ontario, we've invested $127 million in rural broadband networks. This network, as Rick said so well, it spans from Lake Simcoe to the Ottawa River, and would not have happened without the vision and the hard work of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus in partnership with two great private sector partners, ExploreNet and Bell Alliant. And Gary, I want to thank you for your kind introduction, and good morning everyone, it's great to be here. And of course this is a milestone event in our province's broadband project, part of the new Ontario's government to strengthening our rural communities. This network will serve 1 million Ontarians and businesses in rural communities throughout Eastern Ontario by 2014. But today is a great celebration for Northumberland residents who can watch video of today's ceremony online because they now have a fast, dependable internet connections. This kind of broadband access will help make our rural communities investment ready with a new tool to attract jobs, support innovation, and create economic growth. It will improve the quality of life for everyday rural residents, better connecting them with friends and family, as well as opening up greater social interaction and entertainment options. The Eastern Ontario Regional Broadband Network converts miles into milliseconds in rural Ontario. Because of this network, people can live in family-friendly, rural community, yet still work and participate in the modern global economy. That's really appealing. It plays to our strengths as a great place to live, work, and play. The new Ontario government is strengthening our rural communities through projects like this, opening up opportunities for all rural residents, and indeed the EORN network is here for everyone. This information on the superhighway is kind of the building that it takes all riders. People can access online education courses from the comfort of their home. Our businesses can interact with global markets, expanding their consumer base, and creating more jobs. This means that Northumberland Hills Hospital, just down the road from here, Peterborough Regional Hospital, are better connected. Being able to send digital images like MRI and CAT scans or their electronic health records to other hospitals throughout Ontario. I just want to give you a little example of how this works. Just after Christmas, a gentleman south of Lindsay, Ontario, suffered a stroke. That individual was immediately transferred to the Stroke Trauma Center at PRHC in Peterborough. And because of eHealth and broadband interconnections, they were able to access a neurologist that morning that was on call at the McMaster Healthcare Center. They sent the MRI CAT scan immediately to Mac in Hamilton. The neurologist was able to read those MRI CAT scans, immediately sent back a treatment regimen for that individual. 2 days later, that individual was back on the road to recovery at his home in Lindsay, Ontario. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how it works. That's how it improves healthcare. And of course, there will also be lots of recreational purposes, like watching movies online or sharing photos of a new granddaughter or grandson. It's all made possible through the broadband network that you and I and the federal government and private sector partners are building today. We're all proud of this project. It's a proud legacy of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, who had a vision and future determination to overcome any obstacles in its path. To former colleague of mine, Lou Rinaldi, who worked tirelessly on this project, and to my current colleague, Rob Milligan, the current MPP for Northumberland West, who is a big supporter of this initiative. I have also supported this project at the get-go some 10 years ago as the MPP for Peterborough Riding. As Minister of Rural Affairs, I'm especially proud to be strengthening our rural communities with this new technology. Our government, your government, is going to empower rural Ontario, and as Minister of Rural Affairs, I will make it my priority to ensure the voices of rural Ontario are heard. Premier Wynne and I will bring the concerns of rural communities into focus across the whole government, and that's our commitment to you. As we celebrate the Northumberland project today, workers are running fiber optic cable in other rural communities. The progress continues as we speak, and our commitment to strengthening rural communities in Ontario is very clear. Thank you very much. Good luck to you all, and this is a true celebration for everybody in this room. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leal. I would now like to call upon Warden Hector Macmillan on behalf of Northumberland County.
Thank you, Gary, and welcome to God's country, everyone. Northumberland County has certainly been my home for a long, long time, and I'm very, very pleased. In fact, I've pinched myself 3 times today already that this project is now being rolled out here in Northumberland County. Jeff, I had no intention of speaking about healthcare, but just quickly, we talk about the linkages that have been made with our hospitals with rural high-speed internet. On 2 occasions now, I have been rescued from the brink by the system that's in Camelford Memorial Hospital and the new CT scanner that your government has supported and installed in Camelford. Once almost 2 years ago, and once just 2 months ago, and something that they couldn't find out was the matter with me anywhere else in Kingston through the cancer center there was discovered at CMH right in Camelford and relayed through to Kingston, and the troubles that I was facing were fixed very quickly once they had that information. But that's something near and dear to my heart, and I can tell you that 6 years ago when I was warden, when a lot of this was starting to roll out, and it was before the caucus had become incorporated, I stood back and I thought, what a project. Will it ever really come to fruition? Look at the partnerships that are going to be required. 55 million from the province, 55 million from our federal government, and the millions that came from the private sector to make this happen and continues to roll out now. I dare say, look what we can do with the partnerships that have come. anyway. The video you saw earlier, I smile and I'm so proud of the video, and our inaugural meeting we had this past January for the current caucus, and I asked our CAOs that I thought it was time that we hit another ball out of the park. And to our CAOs and Ryan Lambie and his crew that produced the video, my sincere thanks, because it is an attention grabber, and that video as well as another one was well received when we showed it to the Provincial Caucus at the recent conference. So with that, MP Norlock, Minister Leal, Rick Phillips, our our chair of the Eastern Wardens Caucus, and EORN Chair Burton, and all our special guests, I'm pleased to welcome you to Northumberland County and to our wonderful council chambers here for this very important and extremely exciting celebration. We all agree that high-speed internet is an important part of how we can achieve economic prosperity. For Northumberland County, taking part in the Eastern Ontario Regional Network was a natural extension of our long-term goals. It builds on our strategic plan, which places economic renewal and prosperity as our #1 priority. Broadband connections are critical infrastructure for this growth. High-speed connects our county to markets across the province, Canada, and the world. And I can tell you over the years, it's been the #1 ask from our residents. What can our local governments do to bring high speed to the rural areas? It further supports economic growth through its opportunities it creates for education, such as distance learning, improved health care, and government services. It is because of these real tangible benefits that our county contributed some $590,000 to the project. I want to thank the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus for their leadership and the federal and provincial governments for their support in this important project. I would also like to thank the staff of EORN as well as ExploreNet for their hard work to bring broadband access to all of our communities. That hard work is redoubled by our own staff. Our economic development team continues to work hard to make the most of what broadband can offer our communities. On either screen you will see one of the screenshots of the Northumberland Immigration Portal, which we are looking to officially launch by the end of this month. Technology infrastructure has allowed us to create a mechanism to not only attract and inform new Canadians to Northumberland, but also attract international investors to strengthen our economic base. Our porthole is unique in that video is a key element, and as you will see, it is filled with stories about Northumberland as told by new Canadians who now reside here. Later this morning, we will also hear from another partner the county is working with, Mark Patterson of Ryerson University, who will demonstrate an innovative web portal for employers and employees. But first, what are some of the immediate returns? What do these efforts mean on the ground? And I'd like to hand it over now to Don Parks to tell you about that. Don Parks is the owner of the Brighton Inn, and he's going to share with you what improving broadband access can do for business in Eastern Ontario. Welcome. Thanks.
Made some really nice notes, and then I was scraping the car off and they got into the ice. So I may miss a few points as I go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for inviting me. I'm Don Parks, proud owner of the Brighton Inn, along with my lovely wife. I've been asked to speak about the merits of the Meridian booking system and the importance of internet to me in business. I'd like to refer to the online booking system that we have as a one-stop stop. After looking at the website and choosing a room, our potential guests click on the widget that is part of our website on the left-hand side of the home page and simply follow the prompts. Room, dates, availability, yes or no. If yes, they fill out the personal information, including all the very important credit card. And once they've done that, they can acquire a printout, and that's their confirmation. For me, they've made it very simple. What I get is an email telling me that they booked. All I have to do is check to see if there are any special needs that these people have. If they do not, I put it in the date they're going to be arriving. It's that simple for me. What else? Almost all of my business is tied to the internet. It's rare now that a potential guest hasn't already checked the website and most likely have visited TripAdvisor or another site that provides critiques of accommodations before calling or emailing. The internet opens up opportunities for advertising, for demonstrating that we have packages, for discounts, for providing lists of things to do, and for local links to attractions. Most recently, smartphones are enabling travelers on the highway to open a search engine and use a cell phone merely by clicking on the word accommodation. Up pops the Brighton Inn. Having the letter E at the first of your name is really important. They can simply click on it. They don't even have to dial a number. They click once again, and they're phoning me, asking me if I have a room. Well, about 3 weeks ago, we had a snowstorm. I had 2 rooms booked through the internet when people are on the highway. Is the internet important to me? Very much so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parks. I'd now like to call on MPP Milligan to make a few remarks.
Thank you very much. It's a great privilege to be here today in this great celebration of actually making Northumberland, Quinte West, and the rest of Eastern Ontario competitive. And it's very important in a global changing economy that we have laid the groundwork. And I want to thank the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus and the various levels. Mr. Leal, you've done a fantastic job, as well as Warden Macmillan, and of course MP Norlock has also been a very strong advocate for this, and myself as well, because you know, realizing the importance of the internet that we have and how our economy is shifting in the 21st century, it's going to be imperative. And I think this is the cornerstone of laying this infrastructure in place. It is going to make us here in Ontario and Northumberland competitive for years to come. We are still committed to improving upon this system. As you know, technologies improve, but this is a great step for ensuring that people in rural Ontario in particular, and future generations like my 2 daughters who are here today, are going to have the opportunities to actually stay within the Great Riding of Northumberland, and also still have the access and potential of competing in that global economy. So thank you very much. I'll keep it short, but and of course EORN, fantastic job. Rick, please, when we met at the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, you know, this was obviously a paramount movement forward, and I know you're a strong voice there. So thank you very much. Thank you, and take care.
Thank you very much. I'd now like to call upon the chairman of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, I guess the parent organization that oversees all the work of the EORN project, Chairman Rick Phillips, the Warden of Hastings County.
Well, the first thing I have to do is I'm a little confused. Last week I was in Peterborough, met with the finance minister and some other people, our Minister of Rural Affairs, and the Warden of Peterborough County told us that Peterborough County was God's country. And then today I'm sitting here and I hear the Warden of Northumberland County say that Northumberland County is God's country. And I got to go to Renfrew in the next few weeks, and I'm sure that when I get there I'll hear the same thing, that Renfrew is God's country. Now we all know that I'm the Warden of Hastings County, and I say that Hastings is God's country. However, I got to be politically correct, and I am the chairman of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus. Therefore, Eastern Ontario is God's country. Maybe I won't have to deal with that again. God knows. Thank you, everyone. Welcome MP Norlock, Minister Leal, Dave Burton from EORN, Warden Macmillan, Northumberland County, MPP Bob Milligan, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to join you in this beautiful space in Northumberland County for the launch of the new high-speed, high-capacity internet services to this community. As chair of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, it is an honor to represent the 13 member municipalities that make up our caucus. We have found that by joining our voices together in our shared concerns and our priorities, that we can make more of an impact. EORN is a big example of that. Don Park's story tells us how any business can benefit from improved broadband access. It confirms an idea that the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus had 7 years ago, that one of the key ingredients to the future prosperity of Eastern Ontario would be to ensure, as best that we could, that the residents and businesses across our region could get connected with higher speeds and greater capacities to the internet. We took that idea along with a well-thought-out plan to the federal and to the provincial government to garner their support, and I am so pleased that both saw the strong merits to this project. I am pleased also that Northumberland County saw the merits to our plan and provided further support to the project. EORN also could not have been possible without the participation financially and technically of our private and sector partners. Working with ExploreNet on this part of the project is a great example of the public and private sectors working hand in hand, and it should be a model for others to follow. Originally, the project was valued at $170 million, including government funding and private sector investment. Today, it is worth much more than that. It is now closer to $260 million when you include all of the private sector's in-kind contributions and service commitments. It is a great example how all of these programs should work, spurring greater investment in our communities and creating opportunities for all of us to grow. These local events really demonstrate what the EORN project is all about. It's all about making a difference at a community level and giving communities the resources they need to succeed in the 21st century. Northumberland County, too, is an excellent example of what a local government will do to make the most of that resource. They are working very hard to make the most of broadband's economic development opportunities. So let me end by saying congratulations to everyone on today's launch, and I look forward to many more of these in the coming months as we continue to turn this idea into a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Phillips.
Thank you.
Just before I call up the chairman of the Eastern Ontario Regional Network, I would use the Chair Phillips' remarks as a segue. We're right now, when we signed the contribution agreement with the federal and provincial governments, we were abiding by the time frame of the initial Build Canada program, and construction of the access component of this project is scheduled to conclude by March of 2014. We actually anticipate that most of the access zones across all of Eastern Ontario will be concluded closer to the end of this calendar year. So there will be a number of additional launches in a number of additional communities as we move over the course of this calendar year. With those remarks, I'd like to call upon EORN Chairman Dave Burton, please.
Thank you, Gary. I guess I am the chairman of the Eastern Ontario Regional Network, but Rick, believe me, you don't have to cowtail to me. If there's anyone or any people that we should cowtail, it's probably the staff that we have at EORN. They've been wonderful to work with, and I'd like them all to stand and just be recognized for a second. The wonderful proud of the Eastern Ontario Regional Network with a very dedicated, hardworking board of directors as well, and I don't think any of the board is here today, but I just wanted to mention them. Ladies and gentlemen, honourable guests, it's very exciting for me to take part in this announcement today. I am the chair of the Eastern Ontario Regional Network, and it's an honour to be here in Cobourg with MP Rick Norlock. Minister Leal, congratulations, Leal, on your appointment. Or Jeff, I'm sorry. Rob Macmillan, Warden Macmillan, and EOWC Chair Rick Phillips. Today's launch is another success in the construction of this project, which is still one of the largest and most complex broadband projects underway in this country. To give you some perspective, last year we completed a fiber optic backbone for the network that measures more than 5,000 kilometers across all of Eastern Ontario, and that's about the distance from here to Whitehorse. The local network in Northumberland is just one of 15 different local access zones which have created as part of the project to help connect homes and businesses to that fiber optic backbone. Our network represents a major building block for Eastern Ontario. Importantly, I believe it will help unleash the economic potential that exists in our communities. When given the right tools, our communities can thrive. And as we're seeing here today, our local governments will be creative and our businesses will be innovative. Our success comes from the cooperation and investment made by all three levels of government. And I want to thank our federal and provincial partners for their support in this initiative. We are setting an example for cooperation, and it will benefit over 1 million residents across the province. I want to thank our private sector partners of this zone, EORN, who have seen the benefits of investing in EORN and are helping to build a network. We are pleased that the project is progressing well, on schedule, and I'd like to add on budget. Before I finish, I do want to thank the dedicated board members and our staff at EORN who are working tirelessly to get the project completed. Their long hours, their hard work are paying off. Thank you.
I'd now like to call upon our private sector representative and partner, Sue Good, Vice President for EORN.
Thank you so much. I am very proud on behalf of EORN to be part of this initiative and to be part of this team, and really grateful to all levels of government that made this one of the most exciting projects I've worked in, being involved in technology for 27 years. And to see everything execute in the way that it has really been very, very rewarding. So for that, we're grateful, we're proud, and really pleased to be celebrating with you today. I did bring a couple of numbers with me and maps, and because when you get right down to it, whenever you're looking at a project like this, it's fun to see where we were and where we are now. So you all are familiar with God's country number 1, Northumberland County. And if you just go to the next slide for me, Farah, this is where we were 1 year ago today. And this was also a very fantastic project that we've worked on with OMAFRA. And you're used to political maps that are colored very beautifully. This is the kind of map that means something to us. This is the coverage, the footprint, where at this time, and something that we built a couple of years ago, the standard was to give our constituents 1.5 megabits per second speed for high-speed internet. Let's fast forward 1 year later. I just want you to see the magnitude of that color. And now what we're representing in red here is where we can get 10 megabits per second. So the standard has gone up. We are future-proofing here as much as we possibly can. This is more than what many of our customers actually want and need. But I always look for it, and Farah, if you can flip-flop back for me, I always want to draw the fact that there is some white space there, and we are very much, just like you're dependent on the infrastructure you need here in Northumberland County, from the points of presence and all of the partners that have worked to bring internet to the area, we're dependent on making sure that we have the frequency we need to broadcast on. And so I will be talking to our Honourable Member of Parliament to make sure he knows the role that Industry Canada plays in making sure that all of that good bandwidth and that license that we need to keep focusing on rural, remote, and hard to reach does not just go to the big players, but those who have decided to base an entire business on those customers. So that's something I'm very, very passionate about. Let's go to red. Red is better. This is where we are today, and you might still notice a few gaps in the action. This is a hilly, beautiful country, and the one thing that this graphic does not show with this generous, rich footprint is the fact that there's also a fourth-generation satellite and another fourth-generation satellite covering everybody that we might not be able to get to with the 17 towers we now have in the area. We started with 9. We overlaid them, so it's now 4th generation. We added 7 more towers to it. And if that is not enough to give us the coverage we need, we've got the 2 state-of-the-art satellites, which is exactly the way they cover vast areas in Germany and Australia and the United Kingdom. So this is a noble cause. This is about participating economically and effectively on a global scale. This is about empowering our youth. And it's also about getting your YouTube and video streaming entertainment if you've missed your favorite show. So a real breakthrough, and again, couldn't be more pleased to be participating today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sue. At this point, we're going to show you another video. Unfortunately, due to the weather, one of our scheduled speakers, Mark Patterson, is unable to join us here today, and he was going to demonstrate some of his technology as it relates to business and matching companies with employees in search of jobs. But unfortunately, as a result of the weather, he's unable. Apparently, there are a couple trees down in his yard, so he's unable to join us here today.